Sonnet 7, opening with the line, "How soon has time," is a reflection by John Milton, written around 1632, though it was only published in 1645. In this sonnet, Milton, then a young man, grapples with a profound sense of anxiety and self doubt regarding his life's accomplishments. The poem reveals the speaker's distress over the perceived lack of substantial achievements as he approaches his 23rd year. Time, portrayed as a thief, has stolen away his youth, leaving him feeling unproductive and inadequate. The speaker laments the swift passage of time and his own failure to make significant contributions. Despite his potential, he feels overshadowed by those who have achieved more in their lives. This anxiety is compounded by the fact that he does not yet appear to be the man he aspires to be. His accomplishments seem minimal in comparison to his aspirations, and he fears that his life may be seen as insignificant or lacking in merit. In confronting these feelings, the speaker turns to religion for solace and perspective. He rejects the notion that the value of life is determined by one's works, a view often associated with Catholicism. Instead, he adopts a Puritan perspective, finding comfort in the belief that his life's worth is determined by his faith and God's grace. The speaker reconciles his sense of failure by embracing the idea that whatever he accomplishes will be precisely what God has ordained for him. This stance reflects a broader theological debate of the 17th century, where Puritanism emphasized divine providence and predestination over the Catholic emphasis on human agency and merit. The sonnet thus becomes a meditation on the nature of time, destiny, and divine will. The speaker, the speaker finds reassurance in the idea that his life's achievements, whether they seem grand or modest, are ultimately in accordance with God's design. He acknowledges that his purpose is not to exceed or fall short of his fate, but to fulfill it as God has intended. This acceptance of divine will and the assurance of grace provide him with comfort, aligning his sense of self worth with spiritual faith rather than worldly success. Through his religious and existential reflection, Milton articulates a profound personal and theological to his existential anxieties. Milton's sonnet is a reflection on the fear of failing to achieve something meaningful in life. In the first 8 lines, the speaker laments reaching the age of 23 without any notable accomplishments. He expresses anxiety that his life hinges on his actions and achievements, initially suggesting that personal merit is tied to tangible success. However, this stance becomes more nuanced as the poem progresses. The sonnet opens with the speaker's astonishment at how quickly time has passed. He compares him to a thief that robs him of his youth, capturing a sense of loss and missed opportunity. The speaker's primary lament is the loss of potential, his fear that he will not achieve anything significant despite his youthful ambitions. He describes himself as being on the cusp of full manhood but still lacking any visible accomplishments, symbolized by buds and blossoms that have yet to appear. This imagery reflects Renaissance themes where youth is often compared to spring, and the speaker feels out of sync with time, having not yet produced the fruits of his potential. The symbolic language invites readers to question what these buds or blossoms signify, what the speaker hopes to achieve and has not yet. Though the speaker does not explicitly reveal his ambitions, he hints at them through his choice of words. The term career, used in an old fashioned sense of rushing recklessly, also carries a modern connotation of seeking significant, recognizable achievements. Additionally, the speaker acknowledges his inward ripeness, his inner potential and beauty, yet laments that this inner state is not visible or celebrated by others. In the final 6 lines of the sonnet, a shift occurs. The speaker moves from focusing on personal achievement to contemplating a divine source of meaning. He adopts a Puritan perspective, suggesting that in striving for personal glory, he should trust that God will guide him to fulfill his purpose. This shift reflects a broader religious debate of the 17th century. While the initial lines aligned with the Catholic view of salvation through works, the later part of the poem, Puritan belief in salvation through faith alone. The speaker accepts that his accomplishments will occur according to God's will and not his own effort. He reflects on the notion that his fate is predetermined by God. He will achieve nothing more or less than what is divinely intended. What is divinely intended. The poem raises questions about free will, indicating that while the speaker initially seems to be responsible for his success, it is ultimately God's will that prevails. The concept of grace emerges as central to the poem. In Puritan theology, grace is a gift that cannot be earned but is bestowed by God. This contrasts with Catholic values, which suggest that piety and good works can influence one's fate. The speaker's anxiety may thus stem from uncertainty about whether he has received grace or whether his modest achievements reflect a high plan. The poem offers a broader reflection on how to navigate anxieties about personal success and purpose. By embracing God's plan and trusting in divine grace, the speaker finds a way to reconcile his fears about failing to achieve significant accomplishments. The poem, therefore, not only addresses individual concerns but also engages with significant religious and existential questions of his time, presenting a model for handling such anxieties through faith and acceptance of divine will.